Hey guys, it's your girl Michi, aka Tetesly, on the mic with another episode of Mic Drop. I'm here with Nicole. Nicole, say hi, introduce
Hi.
yourself, tell us about you and your background in psychology.
Okay. Hi, my name is Nicole Nyokabi. Currently a student studying psychology. I'm almost done with psychology. It's a really fun career. It's a really fun course to study. At first, when I was not sure about it, I got into it as like a second option because I had changed my course from a data technician course to a psychology course. And I remember when I started, a lot of people had doubts. They were like, psychology is going to mess up your life. Psychology is not the career for you. Psychology does not pay well. But I had seen the effects of mental health on a personal experience that it has on the community. I had seen the effect that the fact that mental awareness is not in the community had brought around myself, my friends, and my family, and I was sure it's what I wanted. So I was like, I'm gonna go into it however it goes. If it doesn't work out, nachia Mungu, because we don't always get what we want at the end of the day.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I was actually doing psychology
What happened?
for like an year, and then you just know all these negative comments, just like what you said. People are always gonna tell you like, oh, that's not a paying job, especially in Kenya. um do something else, something that you'll get jobs, so I had to drop it.
Actually, my family came to realize I do psychology. I'm in my final year. That's when I told my family, hey, I changed my course from TT. I finished my first year in
Oh, you're
TT.
not comfortable
No,
saying
I finished my first
what's
year in TT, and then I was
what's
like,
TT?
it's data technician,
Huh?
where data is called preoperative data
Oh,
technology. So
okay.
I was a data tech for a year. I did my first year, and then I did my attachment. And after my attachment, I was like, this is not it for me. So I
Yeah.
didn't even tell my family or anything. I just was like, that 1 year is enough for me. I'm gonna change my major. I went in psychology, and I told my family about it recently. The one thing about my family I love is that they were so supportive. They're like, okay, if that's what you want to do, we want to support you in that. We're going to find a way to make it work. And
Yeah.
the one good thing that I love about it is mental awareness is becoming known in Kenya. People are creating the mental issues are becoming spoken about it publicly. So even if it doesn't pay me, at least I get to help people know that
Yeah.
there are mental issues that need to be talked
Yeah.
about. And most of the things that people go through is mental issues. Most of the time unapatanga mtu ako na stress but ni mental issues. It's not about really the stress. It's the mental issues they're going through.
And what will you tell people about coming to therapists and the benefits of it? Because I feel like everyone needs it.
Everyone needs therapy, but you have to be self-aware to be like, I need therapy. Because if you're not self-aware and you go to therapy, you'll be like, you're gonna lie. You're just gonna be there and your therapist is gonna be there. You're gonna be paying a lot of money to be in therapy. You're lying to the therapist, which
Because
means
it's
you're not get
expensive,
oh,
yeah.
it's so
Because,
expensive.
yeah.
And you're not getting help. You know, if I go to therapy and I go there and I lie to my therapist, I'm not getting any help.
Yeah.
But if I'm self-aware to a point where I know these are my issues, this is what I need to deal with, and I go there and I'm like, you know what? I'm here. I want to talk about this.
Yeah.
That person, that therapist that I find in that room is going to be able to help me because I am self aware of my problems and I want to deal with them. If you want to go to therapy, you first have to sit down and be like, these are the issues that I'm going through, and this is what might happen in therapy. And the one good thing about therapy that really helped me was I became more self aware of myself. I know kwa tabia nafanyanga nasema this is
Yeah.
bad. And there's a behavior I'll be like, yo, that's self improvement for me and that's healthy for me. There are people who I'll be in my life and I'll be like, these people, they're so toxic and they're narcissists in my life. I don't want that kind of behavior. But their friends will come into my life and I'll be like, okay, they're toxic, but I can deal with that. And there are people who will be in my life and I'll be like, these are the people that I need. These are the healthy friendships and relationships that I need in my life. So going to therapy really helps a lot. But you have to be self-aware. You have to be like, whatever happens in there, I'm going to accept it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a nice introduction.
Thank you.
Today, we'd like to talk about attachment styles in relationships. There are four attachment styles, and we'd just like to break them down for you.
Okay.
Um, well, attachment styles, it's a framework concerning relationship between humans. It was first developed by a psychiatrist, John Bowlby. Um, Nicole, do you wanna break down the four attachment styles.
Yeah, we can talk about them one by one if you're okay with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So we can start with the first one.
The
Is
first one is secure attachment.
Yeah. Before we start, do you feel comfortable talking about your attachment style to people?
I mean, yeah, I can mention my attachment style, but like I can't say that I know much about it or I'm self-aware. I just took a test today. I've taken the test before, and I was in a relationship at that time, and I asked my partner, like I sent them the link and I was like, "Can you take a test as well?" They were like, I'm too busy for this." Yeah. They were like, "I'm too busy for this." So
Supposed to date somebody who actually has time to sit down and talk about. Because I remember
Yeah.
the person I am currently dating, we have sat down and we have talked about therapy with them, and I'm so grateful to have people in my life who are like, oh, therapy is okay, therapy. So how did that make you feel, like the fact that you asked somebody you are dating to talk about
yeah.
like mental issues? Because that is like attachment style is more of a mental
Yeah.
awareness issue. How does that make you feel?
I mean, I feel like men are like that. They're not ready to talk about to go into all these deep issues. And when you ask them to, they feel like you're pushing them and they fall back.
I'm just gonna say those are so. I'm not gonna call them weak men, but I'm gonna call them insecure men. Men who are not like ready to sit down with their partners or people they're dating and be like, oh, "Hey, there's this issue. Let's talk about it," and be ready to open up and be like, "This is my girl, and this is what she wants from me, and I'm gonna try and help her." Because if that man comes to you and be like, "Hey, babe, I'm going through this," you're gonna come through for him.
Yeah.
So men should also do the same. Like I don't.
So it's not like it's not the type of person they are.
No, I just think they're insecure.
Wow, okay. Well, my type of attachment style is anxious. Anxious, preoccupied. It's also called anxious ambivalent. So, anxious ambivalent people are very delulu people, like me. So, we often tend to romanticize love other than forming connections based off reality. Like we're based off like assumptions like, oh, we don't even we're not based off things that are real.
Reality.
Yeah.
So you create your own reality.
Yeah.
Is that
And
what
then
you do?
I mean, yeah, because I'm always thinking about how will I make this person to be the man I
That
want
you
them to be, instead of taking them as they are.
I don't think you can actually make a man to be who you want to be. You have to be like, this is the kind of person I'm dating, and I don't think people actually change. That's a much larger conversation, but I don't think you can actually change somebody to be who you want them to be. They have to be.
They
This
have
is what
to
I
want
want.
to-
Yeah, they have to
Yeah.
want to change. They have to want to be like, oh, this is what I actually want. I'm gonna have to work towards it. But being the kind of person who expects people to change, you get hurt a lot because
Yeah.
you expect a lot from people.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So, they say that anxious, preoccupied people have clingy tendencies, inability to trust, and you keep on suspecting that you're being cheated on, which I don't think it's me really. Low self-esteem. I think
I'm
very
not-
self-confident.
Yeah, I think you're self-confident.
But I don't know
But
if all
about
this
the
applies to
cheating-
me.
About the cheating. So you think every time you're dating someone is cheating on you?
No. Imagine, no. I try not to think about it. Because obviously, if I think about it, I'll think, because I have anxiety, and small things just make me overthink. I'm an overthinker. So if I try not to think about it, because when I do, I'll obviously suspect that you're cheating.
So let me give you a scenario, then you can tell me what you think. So you call your partner, they don't pick, and then when maybe I may post on your socials and he's not picking up your calls, will you think he's cheating on you?
I may post a copy.
No, he has not posted like where he is. I just put in like a meme or like a video that he has taken from TikTok and posted it.
Yeah, I won't think that he's cheating. I'll just start feeling like he doesn't
Insecure.
want me, and just like that fear of rejection.
Okay, then I think I'm the one with the problem because it doesn't affect me in any way. If I call you, you don't pick, and you post something, it doesn't affect me in any way.
Really?
I think I'm the kind of person who is so trustworthy. Like, if I am willing to be in a friendship or in a relationship with you, I trust you to a point where I know if I call you and you don't pick and I see you've posted something with it, I am okay with that. Because I'll probably be like, he's busy with work, he's busy with something else, and he's gonna call me back later. It doesn't affect me in any way. But when I tell people that, they're usually like, kona shida.
Yeah.
But I am okay with that because I know
Yeah.
unaweza nipede, you can call me, and I hate phone calls. I'll see your call and I'll be like, I'm gonna text you back. Now in my mind, I'll be like, let me text, and then I'll forget. And then tasahau nilikuwa nikutext ni post kitu kwa status. Utasikia ni kama.
Yeah.
But that's not even the fact. The problem was that I forgot that I was supposed to text you. And it's okay to forget. Yani, si lazima with the way, si lazima nikumbuke nilikuwa nikutext. Sometimes you have to call people. Like me, if it's an emergency, I'll call you repeated times. If it's not, I'll call you once. If you don't pick, I'll just be like, hey, I wanted this and this and this. Can you text me back or can you help me out where you can? But it's okay for people. You know, people who are usually like, oh, he's cheating on me because he not pick my phone call. Oh, he's cheating on me because he not do that. Please go to therapy.
So basically you're saying you're securely attached. That's also another attachment style.
Yeah, but I have worked to get there. I was the kind of person who was very avoidant. When it came to relationship, I was like, anyone who knows me, like who has known me over 3-4 years, knows I'm not the kind of person that tungekaa chini hivi niambie, hey, mimi na date. I used to hate relationships. I used to hate the idea of marriage. I used to hate the idea of being in a long-term relationship with people. And I remember someone told me, if your idea uko nayo kwa kichwa ya utaki kuolewa, it's a problem. You have to deal with that. And I realized the problem was I had carried all that, ile una heartbreakiwa unaeka.
Baggage. Yeah.
Like all that baggage and always having the idea of, oh, I need closure from this person. You don't actually need closure. People don't know that, but you don't actually need closure. You don't actually, because when the moment you go, like, I'll be like, oh, this guy heartbroke me, let me go and get my closure from them. What you do is when you go to get closure, you open up the old wounds that were there. So for me, I learned how to get closure without having to go back to the crime scene.
How do you get closure and how do you deal without not talking to the person about the situation?
For me, what I basically do and what has worked for me is I'll buy a journal for that specific person.
Okay.
I will write all the things that I deserved in that relationship. I'll write how he treated me and the things that he didn't do for me. Seeing the disrespect and the mistreatment and how badly that guy treated me or that friend, because even female friendships are so toxic, and how that
very toxic.
friend was toxic to me and how that friend treated me, that is going to be closure enough for me. And then I'm going to burn that book and I'm going to like, those ashes as they burn, that's how our friendship is going to be.
And
I'm gonna like totally
that's
forget
it,
and that's it for me. And
you'll move on from.
and I'll delete your number and
Yeah.
I'll move on with my life.
Okay, I feel like that's also a dismissive avoidance.
It's not
Because-
dismissive because I don't wanna go back. You know, Mitch, let me tell you something. I will come and I'll tell you. Me started nafanya hivyo. I'll first come and I'll tell you, hey Mitch, you did this with me and it hurt me. I'm not gonna sit down and be like, you know, the problem with people is if I tell you hurt me, it's very rare for me to apologize or even for you to be like, hey, I'm sorry, I hurt you. Kwanza mtu mwenye hana hiyo secure attachment style, they're gonna be like, oh, I did not hurt you. They're gonna get excuses and they're not gonna apologize. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna make me get hurt more. You're gonna actually, instead of kunipe closure, utani hurt zaidi.
Yeah.
Because I don't want that, I'm just gonna be like, girl, bye.
Yeah.
Block you, do my own healing process and move on with my life. And if there's one thing I learned is those goodbyes that people make and people are like, oh, she was my friend. Oh, no, for me it's really like it happened, and the reason it happened only God knows why. But I always believe that the replacement that God gives is usually better than what you lost. Because for me, I have lost so many friends, but the friends I have right now are so much worth the friends that I lost.
That you lost,
So I'm
yeah.
like, I lost you as a friend, it was worth it. I learned whatever, because I also learned that people can be bridges in our life. Inaweza kuwa, we were not meant to be. You were just there to help me get to the next stage of my life.
That's true.
And you served your purpose, it's time for you to go. And unajua, the one thing is people usually question God a lot. But ikifika time yako kwenda, no matter how much you try to stay in my life, God is always gonna get you out of my life. And I am okay with that. Imefika place where I'm not gonna say I've been hurt so much. Imefika place where I believe like I'm not that spiritual. I'm not gonna say I'm very spiritual, but I'm in the place where if something happens, I usually tell God, you have a reason for it to happen. I don't understand the reason why, but I know somewhere in my journey, I'm gonna know why that happened. And I got over that. But a lot of people don't accept that because you go like, oh, she was my best friend. Oh, we used to go on dates together. Oh, she used to do
I
this
feel
for
like
me.
for me at that time, I'd avoid it. Like I wouldn't want to talk about it. I'll just feel my emotions. I'd be angry at the time, but after a while, after a few days, I'd want to talk about it and just get closure. If it didn't work, it didn't work.
How many times have you tried to get closure and actually gotten it?
It doesn't work. That's all I can say.
See,
It doesn't
I tried
work.
it. I know
Yeah.
it doesn't work. But everybody wants, because getting closure ni kama kurudi, ni kama unini. I have a friend of mine who got an accident recently. And Jenna, we were talking, she's having nightmares at night. Like when she sleeps,
That's
anakumbuka.
terrible. Yeah.
Like when she wakes up, she'll wake up like remembering what happened. So, and when she told me that, I told her she might get PSD later if she doesn't go for therapy. And I remember when I was telling her that story, ilikuja hiyo story ya closure ilikuja hapo, because I was like, umepata accident and then you go back to the crime scene. What are you going to do there? You're just going to collect back all the bad memories that happened in that time.
Yeah.
So getting closure is the same. You're going back to the place that you got hurt to do what? You're not going to get
And
your
then
closure
obviously
there.
if this person hurt you, it's just because as much as they say they cared about you, but your actions clearly showed me that you didn't care about me. So the fact that I'm coming to seek closure from you, it won't help much because you don't even accept the fact that you hurt me. You're not ready to recognize the fact that you put me in this position and you hurt me.
I always say closure is usually a way of people to get back to that relationship or that friendship. It's not going to get closure. You're going to get a reason to stay in the relationship or the friendship.
Yeah.
And it will not work.
Because I've
Mimi,
tried so many times to
and
get
it
back to
doesn't
like
work.
my old friendships, and it doesn't work. You just realize like, okay, like God removed this person from my life for a reason.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So we've talked about
The secure one
the
and
secure
the anxious
one
one.
and the anxious
So
one.
the next one is avoidant.
The dismissive one, we've mentioned it a bit. So a dismissive avoidant person might have problems with intimacy. They have a hard time trusting people. They have a strong sense of independence. They're uncomfortable expressing feelings. And if their partner leaves them, they pretend to shut their emotions down and act as if they do not care. So I actually thought that
That kind of person.
dismissive avoidant, because if a partner leaves, I just these days I don't really care. I feel like I don't even care. I feel like in Nairobi nimeonyeshwa dust, nimekula dust hadi ni constant, nimekula dust hadi like I feel like my emotions have been suppressed to the point I don't
feel like you want to turn them
anything.
off.
I don't feel anything. Like if you wanna leave, I'll feel anything. I'll feel something the first day, but my friend actually was telling me this thing that the more you think about something, the more it hurts.
True.
So you just try to put the thoughts out of your head. And I was like, how do you put the thoughts out of your head? Because like obviously mtu akikuvunja roho ama even a friendship, because those ones hurt the most.
Friendships hurt the most.
Yeah, because you know with girl friendships you share
A lot.
everything.
Mimi nasemanga those friendship, those girls that we don't talk, I always say wasiwe na kunywa mahali pabaya, because they're gonna say things I told them and I'll be like,
yeah.
not meant for the public.
So basically for me, like with that whole constantly people leaving, you told people things, you thought this person is gonna be permanent in your life and they've become temporary, it just makes you cold. That's all I can say. It makes you cold. And I don't know, I feel like maybe I should go to therapy at this point, because I feel like even moving forward, if I want, I don't even think at this point like I'm ready to be in a relationship.
Why?
Yeah,
Why?
because I don't feel anything. like I'm talking to people, but I don't feel anything for them.
Okay, that's
Like I can spend, before I could spend even like time with you for a couple of hours. I feel attached to you. But right now I could spend even a week with you at the same place. Let's say we've gone for a vacation or staycation with you for a week, and if you choose to ghost me, I won't feel anything.
you'll
That's
be
the
okay
point.
with that.
Yeah, that's the point of my life I'm at. So I don't know. I feel like I need therapy.
You do, because
Yeah.
you're using avoiding the emotion as a defense mechanism, which is not really nice, because what you're doing is ni kama kuweka cork alafu ushinde ukishake. So what you're doing is you're putting just pressure inside, and you're shaking it.
Yeah.
So it's a place where when all those emotions come together, you're just gonna have one big mental breakdown, and it happened to me.
No, but I have mental breakdowns every day.
Those are small ones. You see the way you're like carrying baggage. Let me call it by that. You're carrying baggage. What you're doing is you're collecting, una collect ukieka. Kuna malitafika, you'll have one major big mental breakdown, and I have never prayed for anyone to get there. It's really bad, because when you get to that point, umetumia all the avoidance styles that you have used, all the avoiding and defense mechanisms that you can do. So what you usually do is you turn into something easier. Me, what I did is I turned into alcoholism.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
and it's not nice.
Yeah. But can't you turn into something, can you turn the pain into something positive? Maybe, because I work out, I do yoga as well. So maybe that's how I relieve my emotions, and maybe that's why I don't feel something.
You don't feel something.
What do you think?
I just think like, okay, you might
Can
think,
you turn it into something positive?
yes, you can turn your pain into something positive if you
Yeah.
work towards that. But if you're keeping it inside when you're unasema, you're just okay with people living and you don't think about it, you don't deal with it, you're just carrying it around.
I'm not okay with it, but a friend of mine told me, like, if you think about it, that's when you'll feel
So you
the
don't
pain.
think about it.
Yeah, so you distract yourself with other things.
So even if someone hurts you, it doesn't affect you in any way. If someone like does something wrong to you, you don't feel anything about it.
I mean, you have to feel something. You're a human being, but you pretend not to.
Yeah,
Like,
that means you're avoiding the problem. And avoiding the problem is not a solution, because you're just gonna carry it. Unajua tunasemanga, have you ever, let me like ask a different question. Have you ever lost somebody, like has someone ever died like very close to you?
No, I wouldn't say very close to me, but
You were friends.
I mean, somebody has died. That's my cousin died just the other day. He was shot during the protests.
Sorry about
Yeah.
that.
So, I mean, he wasn't that close to me, but he was still my cousin.
Okay, so it's the same way. Carrying things and avoiding dealing with this the same way as grief. So you see, I also lost somebody, and I never dealt with it at the moment. I was like, I'm a kufa and life moves on. But now every time I go somewhere and I hear like sad songs playing, or I go through a TikTok and I see someone grieving someone they lost, it hits me. So what that does is utabeba hizo vitu around, but itafika point where every little thing will be a trigger for you. You know those trauma triggers where unaweza mika, I have my own triggers and I know my own triggers, and it took me a long time to know my triggers. I have a trigger when someone raises their hand hivi juu. Ukiinua mkono hivi meet
You're
alkawa
afraid of being beaten.
sana.
Like, can you share your experience, or you're not?
I'll just say nilichapangwa place moja, and it was a really bad experience
With
for me.
a partner,
Yeah,
or a
A partner. I'm
caregiver?
gonna say a partner.
Oh.
Okay, Pia, you tell me with this African parents, never. Okay, I'm not gonna say my nilichapwa. My grandparents. used to
Of
beat
course,
me.
like.
But that was
African
okay
parents,
because
yeah.
in my head I was like,
It's
I'm
not
just growing up.
I mean, it's not okay.
It's not okay, but it's just
That's-
growing up, and I dealt with that. But like nikiwa mkubwa hivi mtu kunichapa, that really like left a mark in me, and it was so traumatizing for me, because every time I get into a relationship with somebody, I'm usually like, hey, utanichapa kama mwenye alinichapa mwisho, you know.
But you don't tell him that.
No, I'm not
Just
gonna
keep
tell
it-
you. I'm not gonna tell you utanichapa, but kuna zile vitu kama like someone telling me unajua nitakuchapa, that's for me is a trigger. And I'm gonna leave that environment.
Have you ever discussed this with your partner? He knows this about you, or
I don't think. Okay, I think I've told him the story, but I don't think I've discussed it with him because I realized he doesn't have like, unajua, with violence it comes with anger. He doesn't have anger ya kuwa violent. Like when he's mad, he just leaves the environment. He'll be like,
So
I'm gonna leave.
He's an avoidant as well.
No, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna let you calm down, and then we're gonna talk about it again.
That's an avoidant because
at the end of the day, we're going to talk about it. At that moment, it's avoiding the story because we don't want to talk about it. And then later, when you come and sit down, we talk about it. That's okay for me.
No, that's because still, I feel like that's an avoidance.
You want to tell me if right now I wrong you, you won't talk about it right now?
I mean,
like
if you're
at the height of emotions.
If you're securely attached, you'd want to talk about it. Okay. And get to the root cause of it and just finish it.
I would rather not talk about issues when I'm like emotionally, like, because I usually tell myself, when your time maybe I'm so mad or I'm so happy, I'm gonna say things I don't mean. I'm gonna say things I don't wanna say. So I would rather wacha nikuondoke pia mimi, like that's, I'm gonna, like, if we get mad right now, we argue right now, I'm not gonna answer you.
And how long do you take to deal with that? Like
a couple of hours.
5 minutes.
No, a couple of hours.
But you won't sleep mad at the person.
There's nothing I hate like sleeping mad, because me sleeping mad means I will wake up mad.
Okay.
So like if we argue and it's like at 9 p.m, no one is going to bed until we sit down and talk about that issue.
Yeah.
So Mr. Lan nikiwa nimekasirika, niamke asubuhi niseme gani nani alinikasirisha? No, I don't want that. I want to wake up happy.
Yeah.
Because the mood that I wake up in will put me how I'm going to be the rest of the day. So if I wake up mad, if I sleep mad, it means I will wake up mad, and I hate waking up mad because it's going to ruin my whole day. And you know the worst part about it is nimeamka nikiwa nimekasirika. I have a kid in the house.
Yeah.
That's all I hasira yangu.
Your kid, of course.
I don't want to bring up a trauma. I don't want to bring up my kid in trauma. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to avoid you. I'm going to avoid that conversation of, we're going to talk about it right now. We're going to talk about the reason why you're mad. The reason why you're mad, we're going to sit down and come up with a solution. I'm not going to bed mad.
Yeah.
People who go to bed mad actually surprise me. Like, so okay, you're dating somebody, mekosana. So you go to bed mad, which means one of you will sleep on the couch and the one will sleep on the bed. So what happens?
You can just both sleep on the bed, but kila mtu
different sides. Yeah. So how does that work when you wake up in the morning? Hakuna kuongeleshana?
No, see, maybe you'll wake up in a better mood. It depends, actually.
You tell me if you go to bed mad, you wake up in a better mood?
I mean, yeah. Maybe you just need to sleep it off.
There's nothing like sleeping it off. If I sleep it off, I'll wake up more mad because nikilala nitakuwa najiambia gani alinikasirisha.
But you know, you're securely attached.
Yeah.
There are different types of people in relationship. Kuna watoto waongeleshanga. Mimi, personally, like ukinibo, I can even take a month off. I'm like, I need time.
Okay, for me, as much as I'm like securely attached, I'm also like a person who like, I want you to call me every day or text me every day. No. Like, we are dating, okay, it doesn't mean we're a radio station, we have to talk every day. Like, we can talk when necessary. And I'm okay with that. Like, hi, how have you been? That's okay. Don't call me every day.
I mean, for me...
You want to be called every day?
Like, I feel like right now is different because I'm telling you I'm in this situation where I
you feel like you don't want to get in a relationship. You want to be called every time.
Yeah. Like, I want my partner to call me every day.
Don't call me every day. First of all, I hate phone calls. Like, just text me. I always reply to text messages. Phone calls are a whole different story.
Do you know, like, I'm not a big texter.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that I was with somebody who was a big
texter.
No. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a big texter and he doesn't do phone calls at all. And he wasn't, like, willing to call me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that to me was...
I'm going to say relationships are a compromise. You have to choose what compromises you're okay with.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get a perfect relationship out here. You're not going to get a perfect man. You're not going to get a perfect woman out here.
No, but
you have to be willing to
this,
compromise on some things.
Imagine this. Like, you don't do phone calls forever. Like, you never do phone calls.
Okay, now that's a problem.
I'm telling you, I like phone calls. Like, I don't feel like we're forming any connection by texting. Like, texting is for friends. Like,
those are conversations that people should have. Like, when you start dating, like, I'm not a phone call person, I'm a texter.
We already had that conversation.
So what solution should you guys come up with?
He said he'll be calling.
And he never did.
And he didn't.
unajua sitetei wanaume, but personally where I am right now, I understand people are busy. So if you don't call me, I'm gonna call you. If you had agreed we're gonna make a phone call, if you don't call me, I'm gonna call you.
Well, no, for me, my ego doesn't allow that, because if you tell me you're gonna call me, I'm not gonna call you.
Let me say something.
Like, doesn't it make
ego and love never goes together. It will never work.
Okay.
Let me. I'm one person. Anybody who knows me knows I have a very big ego, and the person I am dating, ego yake ni kubwa kuliko yangu. But ilifika place tukaambia na our relationship is not gonna work with ego. At some point, both of us are gonna have to set our egos aside to deal with the issues in the relationship. Because if we both have egos, it means whenever tumekosana, nobody's willing to sit down and be like, hey, this is what happened. Mimi niko na makosa, mimi niko na makosa. We're never gonna sit down and have those conversations. But if both of us get to a point where we are like, tuko na egos sote, and we know that, but when it comes to a relationship, we put our egos aside so that our relationship can work. You see, when you say uko na ego, that is why most relationships don't work. Because first of all, you are so egocentric. Men, apart from having their own masculinity, their ego is way worse than A to say what they.
But you said, like, if somebody is the one for you, that change for you.
Men don't change for you. Men change when they don't even change for you.
Yeah, they change because they want to.
They will change because they want to change. Not for you. Mwanaume sasa kudanganya ali change for wewe. Me, I know someone told me I changed for you, but I don't believe that. You can't just wake up in the morning and be like, oh, that chick is nice, I'm gonna change for her. No. For you to change, Mish ni kama saizi nikwambie, what is it that you love doing the most?
What I love doing the most? I think sleeping. Because
so I start telling you,
chances I get to sleep, it's like I need days in between days to just sleep.
Okay, so I start telling you I want you to sleep less. And I don't give you a reason. Are you gonna do that? You still have the time that you have on your hands, but I'm telling you to sleep less.
No, but you're telling me. Do you understand? That's the difference. You're telling me.
Yes, and that's what I'm telling you. For you to stop sleeping less, you have to make a personal decision. You don't have to do it for anyone else. Because, Mitch, let me tell you something. That man will come and be like, hey, Nicole, I want to change for you. Minimum, be sikutaki.
No, I
if that man was supposed to change, ata change either way.
I don't think that's how changing works.
How do you think changing works? Because for me, like I have changed for somebody. And it doesn't work. Because they were like, you have changed this about you, and I changed that about me. Because and the relationship still didn't work.
They told you that.
Yeah, they were like, I don't like this behavior about you, I need to change it. And I was like, I love this person, I'm going to change for them. I made that person sure to change for them. And I changed. But they tabia adi wala usifanyange. Because those people asked me. Though. And right now, I'm in a relationship where my partner doesn't need to tell me to change.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't, that's because itaka mahali nione, but they mwenye spendi tabia. I'm going to change that for them. But you cannot tell me that I can wake up in the morning and be like, oh, I like that chick, I'm gonna... No. For men, it's very different. For a man to change, they have first to be like, these are the goals in my life, and for me to get to these goals in my life, I have to change this about me. If I'm wrong, please correct me. These are the goals that I have in my life, and for me to get to these goals at this point in my life, I have to change. Ili nifike mahali nataka kwenda. Because nikakwambia mwanaume, wacha kwendanga sherehe, hiyo pesa uko una save.
What if you're one of the...
Men won't agree to do that.
What if you're one of the goal... Do you understand? Let's say, I'm in a relationship with somebody. Sindio, mi napenda kwenda sherehe. Okay, I'm the man, the relationship, and I'm wasting money. But you get to a point where you love this person. You want now to have a family with this person. You'll change.
Let me ask you something.
I don't have to tell you.
Let me tell you.
Or they don't have to tell you.
Let me ask you something. So you're dating somebody, when you met them, they were drunkard. And through the relationship, wamekuwa wakilewa. And then when you decide to get married, this person stops drinking. Do you know how much time they'll have in their hands? Because this person doesn't have anything to do. So, the problem with change is it affects everyone. So, for example, I am dating somebody who's a drunkard. I am not. I'm just saying, it's an example. I'm dating someone who's a drunkard, and through the whole relationship, I was comfortable with you being a drunkard. I was comfortable that we moved in together. I was comfortable that I never even complained about it. And then when you decide, when we're gonna have kids, you decide to change that behavior. That behavior is gonna affect me because it means when nilikuwa nimezoea unakujanga Friday ukiwa nini saa tu Friday ukienda job unakujanga ukiwa umelewa, it means Friday kutoka job unakujanga kwa nyumba. Which means whatever kama nilikuwa nimezoea Friday ni my personal time, it means my personal time has been affected.
Why?
Because nimezoea kwa peke yangu kwa nyumba, Friday umezoea kwenda nje na maboys wako, so may decide sasa kuwa na maboys na kuwa na demu yangu. So every Friday it means you're in the house, which means whatever is it was kama Friday niko mama unaenda sherehe, mimi naenda girls nights zangu, I'll stop going for my girls nights out so that I can accommodate you because you're changing. And so I say, before dating somebody, make sure they have the characteristics that you want. Make sure that person has the ile character, like, I can work with this, I can compromise my values and my standards for this kind of behavior.
But
Because a lot of
people-
people, you get into a relationship and you're like, oh, I love this, because my lover girls, I love this man. Hujaona tabia zake. Mwanaume atakufanyia tabia uko like, what's going on? And because at the beginning of the relationship, you did not know this person. And let's say, nilikuongea na friend yangu tukiongea story ya moving in. A friend of mine wants to move in with their man. And we're having that conversation. And she's like, oh, you know, because I'm about to start doing this project. I'm just thinking like moving in with my man will help me save on these bills and these bills. And I was like, it's a nice idea moving in with this person. But you guys have been in a long distance relationship for the longest time. Which means moving in is also a conversation that people are supposed to have. Because you're like, mimi ni secure attachment. No. For example, the person I'm dating is not maybe secure attachment. Which means when you're moving together, kuna tabia ana expect mimi nifanye na kuna vitu na expect yeye afanye. Because I have a different personality from what he has. So we're moving together with this person and they're like, I don't like you doing this. Because now we're living together, you have to stop doing this. Because I remember there's a time, mimi ni wale wa, when it's like, my girls and I are going out, if you're going out for like a whole week, like there's a time we went out for like a couple of days, I was like, I'm going with my kid. I'm not leaving my kid alone. And I didn't even tell
You're going out with your child?
Yeah. Like, say tunaenda sherehe, like we took a BNB. Say tunaenda sherehe, I cannot go sherehe with my
You're
kid.
putting your child in a situation ati unampeleka around alcohol.
No, there was no alcohol. Like what we used to do is like we
okay.
took a BNB, we cook, we eat together, we talk stories.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go with my kid at that point. And I remember someone was like, you know, there are people who don't like the behaviors of their girlfriends being around other females for that long because they're gonna start thinking things. Unaona hiyo facial expression yako? That was the same facial expression I had.